Death. Not exactly pretty, especially when you consider that one day, all of us could end up looking like this. But should we simply accept this as our fate? Or is there something else that awaits us? Since the dawn of time, humans have been obsessed with the idea that our lives go on even after we die, and that we can return and communicate with our loved ones here on Earth. Is there life after life? And perhaps the most important question of all, can we prove it? Jeffrey Keane is a retired firefighter. In 1990, he decided to visit the site of the famous Battle of Antietam, one of the bloodiest encounters of the Civil War, and a place where thousands died in just one day. He took a little side trip to see the battlefield. What begins is a fun day out, but will soon turn into a nightmare. It became very hard for him to breathe. He started crying and got extremely angry, really sad, like having a heart attack without pain. After overcome by a wave of violent emotions, Jeffrey then has a powerful urge to visit the gift shop and get a Civil War quarterly magazine, Antietam. For the next 18 months, Jeffrey's life returns to normal, until one night, when he attends a Halloween party and meets a palm reader. He tells his story, and everything suddenly becomes uneasy. She drops a bombshell. She believes Jeffrey was at Antietam in a previous life, missing, killed there with a body full of holes. Remembering the magazine he has had for a year and a half, he opens up to the section on Antietam and sees a photograph. He was immediately stunned by what he sees. The face that he knows very well and shaves every morning. The face of his double from the past, General Gordon. But as he reads on, things get even weirder. Gordon was 30 years old when he was shot in the face, connecting a link between him and Jeffrey. At 12 o'clock midnight rolls around, on his 30th birthday, he got such an immense pain in his jaw and face, it radiated down his neck. Jeffrey believes there's only one answer. We never die. We're continuous, always have been, always will be. Tariq Satar is a facilitator at the Ontario Hypnosis Center. He not only believes reincarnation is real, he can demonstrate it using a process called past life regression, a series of steps that you go through in order to access memories from previous lifetimes, allowing the conscious mind to be put aside for a while as you access the subconscious mind. His patients will be traveling back, not only deep into their own past, but to lives they may have lived before. But from where can he access his memories? It starts by first taking the client back through age regression. Typically, it's about 14 or 15 years old, and then 2 or 3 years old. The next step will take them into what is known as blue mist space, in between their current life and the previous one. They're interacting. They're in the body of that past life. They can see out of that person's eyes, which is very, very personal. But is it real? In 1993, a team of researchers in a town in the UK set out to find indisputable evidence of life after death. Conducting a series of extraordinary seances, they witnessed paranormal events that would mystify science, calling it a skull experiment. To conquer the skeptics, the seances were held in the supposedly impenetrable cellar of a suburban house. The whole place was brick, there were no trapdoors, and the only door into the cellar was locked internally. Each one of them would wear luminous armbands, so everybody who was present could see that no one moved. When the spirit lights would come, little lights about the size of a pea or slightly larger would start to perform aerobatics. Later on, there were spirit voices speaking from midair. They were able to hear one-to-one all of the spirit people. As the experiment continues, the team is amazed as the paranormal activity becomes more intense. All sorts of different things started materializing in midair. and then would fall down onto the table. They actually had solid spirit personalities moving around in the room. Encouraged by the success, they had conducted an experiment with a film that was still in its plastic container. When they finally checked the film, they couldn't believe their eyes. Hundreds of photographs were produced to show various aspects of the spirit world itself. But there was one photograph that was different from the rest. A haunting image of what seemed to be a woman's face. This chilling incident makes the skull experiment the definitive exploration into the presence of the afterlife. Dr. Stuart Hameroff is a scientist. He believes the only way to find real proof of reincarnation is only by using science. Now, we have a theory, a possible explanation to seriously reevaluate and consider all this evidence. Hameroff's theory concerns one of the greatest mysteries of both religion and science, the soul, which is believed to exist outside the body after life, and possibly in reincarnation. The soul exists as a series of information quantifiable by physics, and also existent on a subatomic level in quantum particles that can stay connected and survive death. Are we all in a continual cycle of birth and rebirth, simply interchanging bodies as we go? And if so, this raises yet another question. Do we get to choose who we were before, who we are now, and who will be next?